Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic, and welcome back to the channel. And today, with you guys, is a Dying Light 2 video. I haven't made a Dying Light 2 video in a very long time. Now that I'm actually able to film on my Series X, I'll be able to film a lot more just funny gameplay moments and all of that. Free roam stuff, that kind of thing. Now, you're seeing this video when I'm in Disney World, so that's, I'm always back, and I'm still there. But, yeah, so I just thought I'd, give you a little bit of a Dying Light 2 kind of review, I guess. Just kind of like a discussion after a few, vital updates that they've gotten to the game. Now, Dying Light 1 is one of my favorite zombie games, one of my favorite games ever, and it's so good that when I started playing Dying Light 2, I immediately was like, alright, this Dying Light 1 is now not as good as 2, especially now. Now, what I mean by that is that, the hub worlds of Dying Light 1 are freaking awesome, but, the combat, at least in my, opinion, isn't as good as 2. They've done, Techland, I should say, the developers, they've done some really unique things to kind of make sure that the game is better in a lot of aspects. And you're just seeing me here running around doing parkour, and that's the first thing we're going to mention, the parkour. There used to be a lot of complaints about people saying, oh, it's too floaty, it looks like you're on the friggin' moon, you're jumping up and down and you're doing whatever. It just feels very floaty and very kind of weightless, and you're just kind of like Mario jumping everywhere. I never had a problem with that, but they actually updated the game to give you more of a physical mode, so now you can actually choose between physical and assisted mode. Assisted is the original, physical is the new stuff, and I've been playing a lot of physical, man, and I gotta say, it's pretty friggin' cool. It's more reminiscent of Dying Light 1's parkour, where you're not as floaty and you're kind of just borderline jumping and all that kind of thing, nothing too insane, like the freaking moon's gravitational pull type thing, you know what I mean? But it's really good stuff. I think it's a really, really good parkour system, and it's very, very action-packed, you know what I mean? Like, you're not just running and jumping, you're doing that, but you're vaulting over zombies, and you're drop-kicking them, and you're kicking them, and you're doing really badass moves with any kind of, weapons you find, or a bow and arrow, or a crossbow. There's a lot of good stuff in this game that kind of feeds off of the parkour system, and one of the things is just the ability to wall run. I think it's a really unique feature, you know what I mean? There's so many really awesome things about the parkour where I'm playing it, and when you're not falling to your death, it just feels right, you know what I mean? They added the new knife animation, so there's certain, like, you'll probably see it in this video, maybe. There's certain unique, like posters and all that, kind of like fabric things on the walls, and playing on a Series X, if you hold the X button, Aiden takes out his freaking knife and just, cuts down. And the parkour, man, I've played a lot of Dying Light 1. It's fantastic parkour. And I played a lot of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and that's good too. But I swear to God, man, Dying Light 2 is, in my opinion, the quintessential parkour FPS game, or first-person game. Like, it's fantastic. I'll boot this game up, and I'll just run around on rooftops for an hour, and before killing any zombies, you know what I mean? Like, it's just that good. So yeah, the rooftop parkour is amazing. You get the, ground parkour as well. You can kind of, like, run up and jump off of zombies and slam dunk them and all that. There's a lot of great stuff there. So yeah, man, the parkour is insane. Now, we're moving on from parkour to the nighttime. Now, the nighttime in Dying Light 1 was always like, alright, this is intense, and this is really scary, because Dying Light as a, I guess even maybe Dead Island, they're horror games in essence, I mean, there's zombies, it's supposed to be kind of freaky, there's gore and all that, so yeah, I would classify them as horror games, and Dying Light 2 kind of shipped with not the best, I should say, horror elements to the night, because you play it and you're like, alright, it's dark, and there's some volatiles, or there's some belchers, or screamers, or whatever the fudge they're called, but they're not that effing scary. It's just, alright, you hit them with your freaking axe, and they're dead, and you're like, okay, then you move on. Really, I barely even played in the night. I was just like, alright, the night is more of a nuisance. I'll kind of run around for like 5 minutes, and then get bored, go to a safe house, and sleep till daytime, you know what I mean, where I can see crap. But this game actually got an update where you can make it look like Haran from Dying Light 1, but you can also make the nighttime now look really freaking dark, man. I mean, if you don't have your flashlight on, you're screwed. Like, you're done. Give up. Go home. It's over. And yeah, you need your flashlight on, because if you don't, it's game over, buddy. And there's some really crazy stuff in there with the nighttime now. They made it a lot darker, and you wouldn't think making the night darker would actually make the game better, but it actually does. I really don't just, like, run to safe houses to, switch on to, I guess, the daytime mode. I genuinely play in the dark time. I play in the dark time. I'm a dark time player. You know what I'm saying? And it's really cool because now there's a lot more volatiles both in the streets and on top of the hoods and the I guess roofs and all that. The roofs, I guess, and it's very, very terrifying now because they're maybe a little bit too many, but there's roofs and you're like, all right, I gotta get over there, I gotta get point A to point B, and then that point B between that A and B point that I mentioned, there's like 7 friggin' volatiles. I mean, you're gonna be chased a lot in the dark, and you're probably gonna die because those motherfudgers do not go down without a few hits. I mean, they're very powerful. I mean, like I tried to use my UV light, it worked a bit, but me just kind of slashing at them with a axe to jack all, and I was pretty dead pretty quick. But that's what's cool, I mean, like in the day, it's very separated now. It's much like Dying Light 1. The daytime it's parkour and you're killing zombies. It's really fun. There's enemies, human enemies, and then at the nighttime it's very atmospheric and there's really not a lot of whole people outside. They're all in their bases, and that's where the volatiles are out, and that's where it's really testing your skills as a stealthy player. You can go inside of buildings and loot crap, whatever, but you're not really going to be jumping around the rooftops like an insane person. At nighttime, you're going to be playing a lot more stealthily, and I admire that. It's a really cool, unique feature, which I don't know how much of the nighttime you're going to be seeing in this, but it is there, and maybe I'll have a second video, I don't know, but, yeah, so the parkour, man, awesome. The nighttime mode, at least from the newest update, really good. They also had I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a gore update where they kind of, I think they released it on the same day as Dead Island 2, and Dead Island 2 is known for the gore system, or the whatever the fudge it's called, stabbers, I don't know, whatever. It's like it's a unique thing, and like you chip away at a zombie's flesh, and you see their rib cages, and really gory stuff, which I admire because it shows how much they kind of took into that detail. And it's a zombie game; you're gonna get gore. That's the whole point. I mean, you're killing zombies, and it looks really good in Dead Island 2. But in Dying Light 2, it wasn't as good. Then they kind of were like, all right, let's make this a lot better, and let's actually up the ante, so to speak, and give these guys a lot more of a gory, kind of more visceral experience. And now, you drop kick a zombie into a freaking wall, the screen kind of vibrates, and it's like a very more visceral, intense thing. I hit a guy in the head with a mallet today, and his freaking eye popped out, and his tongue was out, and his brain was, pulsating. I mean, there's some really gory stuff there. And again, I'm not trying to say I love gore and I'm a weirdo, but, when you're playing a zombie game, you kind of expect that, and it wasn't necessarily that good. And then they updated it, and it was like, oh, what the hell were they doing before? This is way better. And it was just really, really good. So, honestly, the time of recording this on July 15th, you're seeing it a while after this probably, but it's a good game. If you like Dying Light 1 and you were like, all right, is Dying Light 2 worth it now? I didn't like the darkness, or I didn't like the combat, or the gore, or the parkour was a little too jumpy and floaty. This game has everything you want. You can change the FOV. My field of view is way to F to 20. Like, it's just all the way. I like to see as much as I can. And that's kind of a negative with Dying Light 1, is that you can't change the FOV, and you're kind of stuck in this weird-ass looking camera angle. But, it's an older game. It's not really a sin to that. But what else can I say, man? I mean, the graphics are pretty good. Of course, you do have quality versus performance on Series X. I always go with performance, man. 60 FPS in this kind of a game, you need it. If you don't have it, you're kind of screwed. You're kind of playing yourself. Because honestly, I tried to play with quality mode. I didn't really notice a difference. And again, I'm the guy with glasses now, so I can notice a difference in these kind of things. I didn't notice a freaking thing. I was like, all right, maybe the puddles when it rains, or maybe, I don't know, the reflection from a freaking building to my whatever on the ground looks a little cleaner, but it's really, not that big of a deal. If you are really hardcore into graphics, maybe go with quality, but for me, I always go with performance in essentially every game I get, except LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, because when you play that game in 60 FPS mode, the game, it effing sky flickers to heck and back. It looks like dirt, so I have to play that game on 30 FPS mode. Same with Hogwarts Legacy. If I play that game in performance, it just stutters like a motherfudger, so I gotta play it in 30. These developers, if you're gonna add a 60 FPS mode, make it actually 60, please. Elden Ring? I love Elden Ring, but still, I'm just saying. Apparently, it's an issue with the engine, but whatever, bullcrap. But still, going back to Dying Light 2, yeah, I mean, like I said, I always go with performance. But in terms of the story, that's kind of where we're going to be getting some negatives here. I didn't really give two craps about Aiden. I really didn't. I mean, I didn't care too much about Dying Light 1's campaign, but Dying Light 2, I don't know, man. It just felt too quick. There's no guns, so that was kind of weird. I hope they add guns in a future, update. But just, I don't know, man. The voice acting for Aiden was all right. It kind of sounded like Kyle from the first game, which, isn't really knocking him, but it's just whatever. But yeah, I mean, the characters I didn't really give a crap about. I was like, all right, you're talking whatever. Hakon or whatever. Rosario Dawson's character was okay, I guess. Luan or something. Luan! I don't know her name. But, yeah, it just, I don't know, man. Listen, the story just wasn't there. I played through it. I beat it. And I didn't hate it, obviously, because if I didn't, I wouldn't play it. But, it's good to go through, because you kind of have to get the paraglider and whatever the fudge you need, like, the tools you need to kind of go through the end game. So, you kind of have to. It's worth playing, obviously, but it isn't, zombie games are never, even Dying Light 1 and Dead Island 2, man. None of these stories they're not winning any awards. It's not like, oh my god, the writing was so beautiful. It's like, you kill zombies with a baseball bat. Like, what the hell, what are you expecting? You're not expecting some Last Jedi writing crap. You're expecting something like Teletubbies writing. It's not that bad, but at the same time, it could have been a heck of a lot better. And, when the credits rolled on Dying Light 2, I was like, all right, that was something. Like, the final boss was garbage. What was his name? Waltz Disney. It's like, what the fudge is this game, dude? But thankfully, the parkour, the night mechanics, the combat, everything, man. You don't get a grappling hook now. You get, like, that weird, like rope thing that you, like, freaking chuck into the earth, and you just kind of propel yourself forward. It's fun, it's fun to use. But, if I were to record this, if I were to do this review when it came out, I'd probably give it, like, an 8. But right now, genuinely, I'd probably give it a 10. I mean, I'm really struggling. In terms of where I'm at now, if I were to, factor in that campaign, I'd probably give it a 9. Because, again, it's not that engrossing of a campaign. It's whatever. It's like, okay, they're doing their best, but I ended up skipping half the freaking cutscenes. I was like, this is boring. Like, I don't care about your struggle with the whatever faction from whateverville, the blue guys or whatever, the authority. It's like, I don't care, Let me kill zombies. If you were to write a good story, I would care. But some of the campaign missions were alright. It's really Aiden looking for his sister or whatever. I barely remember. But yeah, Babaden or whatever, Aiden Babaden. It's whatever. It's not going to wow you, but it does propel you to learn the mechanics. And at the end of the day, when the credits do roll, I was like, all right, it wasn't that bad. But now I really have to, I want to explore the game and kill some zombies. And that's really what the game is essentially best at. If you love zombie games, you're going to love this. If you don't like zombies, you might not. But again, the parkour in this game is so friggin' addicting. Again, I'll run through streets and the rooftops for an hour without killing a single zombie. That's so freaking cool. Is that if you want to kill zombies, you can, and you can level up your weapons and, put fire. You can literally shoot fire out of an axe or something. You can just drop kick a zombie into a van or what have you. You can play in the nighttime and have a lot of more intense, stealthy experiences. Or you can just run around the city like an idiot on crack and just, jump on buses and whatever and fling yourself through rooftops like an idiot. And that's fun too. So it really has a little bit of something for everyone in it. And it's just one of the most replayable games of all time. I mean, when I think of, like, really good open world games, like solid stuff, like, an open world game I could play all day, every day, which I don't do that, but if I had the, choice, I probably would. I would obviously say, Lego games, Assassin's Creed, maybe GTA 5, but that gets boring after a while. Borderlands, anything by Bethesda, and of course, Dying Light. The series, Dying Light 1, Dead Island 2 also, but really, especially Dying Light 2. The game is just a friggin' masterpiece, man. Again, the story isn't the best, but I do think that the overall sense of just exploration, crafting, going to different shops, and just the kind of adrenaline you get by doing this parkour, what's really awesome, I think this is actually one of the first games to do this, is that when you're doing, like, you're a badass at the parkour and you're chaining, you're just running around, or you're, jumping off of zombies and you're flinging through rooftops and you're using the grapple thingy, they're playing music, and the music actually kind of syncs to your movement, which is really awesome. Like, there were moments where the music would go, and then I, like, do a barrel roll and it would go, it would, like, continue. It, like, pauses, and then when you do that, it kind of continues and amps up in music, and that's awesome. Like, that's really cool, because it incentivizes you to actually do parkour well, and not just, spam the freaking grapple thing, you know what I mean? So it's really cool. It takes a minute to get used to, and there are a lot of different difficulty options, and there's different FOV. It's really, the settings, man, have everything you want, you know what I mean? Like, for me, again, I do performance, FOV 20. I normally play on normal. I've been playing on easy mode, not because I'm bad at it. I just don't like to get killed 24/7 by those stupid freaking humans, because, like, the guy's axe is, like, longer than, like, a lightsaber. Kyber blade, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like this long-ass axe, and he swings it, and because my FOV is at 20, I dodge, but for some reason the hit registers as a hit, so it's just garbage. I end up just, like, spamming the whatever dropkick attack. So, it's not a perfect game. I'm not going to say, oh, this is the flawlessest game of all time, but it's got issues. But again, if I were to just if I were to review what you're seeing now, just me running throughout the open world of Villedor, doing parkour, killing zombies, getting new weapons, fighting off humans, just chaining together awesome kills, and just running around this awesome open world both at daytime and nighttime, it's easily a 10, man. It's just a fun video game. It's a video game. You know what I mean? They're not trying to be Red Dead Redemption 2 crap. It's not like, oh, you got to clean your axe. I mean, weapons do break and all that, but you can, basically apply a charm of Korek or Karak or whatever. There's different charms, like, little things you can have, like, how in Call of Duty you can put, like, a little, like, an octopus or, like, a whatever on your gun, your AR, and it looks like it just dangles when you run. It's kind of like that for these weapons, but there's one called the Korek where you kind of, use the things that you've scavenged in the open world, like, I guess, think of Rey, how she's, like, scavenging those Star Destroyers in Episode 7. It's kind of like that. Like, you just bust into a freaking house, you kill the zombies, you loot everything, and then you can use that loot to essentially kind of update your weapons and kind of, let's say you're using a katana and the katana's at, about to break, you can then use your scrap money or whatever and kind of reapply that. So really, weapons do break, but you can essentially have your weapon that you really want forever just by scounging around the open world. So yeah, I mean, the replay value is what I look for in open world video games. That's my last point I'm going to talk about. There's so many open world games that are fun to play, but then when you beat them, it's boring as fudge. Like, the Far Cry games are really fun, but then once you beat them, you have all these badass guns, but you're shooting the pigs and the birds. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, you can reset the outpost. I get it. Outpost reset is fun for like 5 minutes, but when you give me a big open world game with a bunch of weapons, I want to fight enemies, not just shoot the wildlife. You know what I mean? It's boring. So in terms of replay value, obviously the LEGO games have them. Assassin's Creed, Shadow of Mordor and War, Arkham games for the most part, GTA, Borderlands, I'm probably Elden Ring, there's a bunch of them, but, Dying Light 2 is a fantastic game for replay value without even going into New Game Plus. Like, you can just, at least for me, I can just run around the open world for hours and hours and kill zombies and just, upgrade my weapons and whatever and play in the day and the night and, screw around with the different settings and, filter settings, like make it look like Haran, or make it look all gritty and noirish. I mean, it's really, really cool, man. And there is New Game Plus and all that, but as of right now, when I'm filming this on July 15th, 2023, Dying Light 2 is a friggin' masterpiece, dude. I mean, the Techland really took to heart the criticisms and sometimes the little crybabies in their basement that, no, this game's bad, you know what I mean? They listen to those guys too. But the people that, had a brainstorm were like, hey, this is good, but this you could fix. They fixed it for the most part. And apparently they're going to be doing 5 more years of this, or 4 more years at this point. I don't know. They did kind of do a BS lie and say this game takes 500 hours to complete, which this was obviously before the game came out. I beat everything in less than 100, so I don't know who was smoking crack when they did that tweet, but I don't know. But yeah, otherwise than that, they are going to be supporting this game. Dead Island 2 is also getting support for a full year, but Dying Light 2, they're really banking on this game. They're going to be adding on, so maybe, I'm assuming we will get guns, we might get more open world areas, maybe we'll get buggies and cars or motorcycles, I don't know, but as of right now, Dying Light 2 is a really effing good game, man. If you love zombies, if you love open world games with a ton of replay value, I highly recommend playing Dying Light 2. It's fantastic, even better than it was on launch, and again, like I said, in 2023, this game is insanely well done, just like a good steak, and well, don't eat the game. Don't, like, eat the disc. Put the disc in your Xbox and your PlayStation and play it, because man, this game is a fantastic product for sure. I love just running around the open world killing zombies. It's a really fun time, and it can be stressful. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting on tunes. I'm listening to freaking Falling in Reverse and Skillet and Avenged Sevenfold in the daytime, and then at nighttime I turn the music off and I try to be more stealthy and avoid the volatiles. You know what I mean? So it's really, really cool that they can kind of balance those kind of two gameplay modes out, and just again running around, chaining kills, doing parkour, upgrading weapons. I mean, the game really is limitless, and it's really, the replay value is essentially through the roof and unlimited, much like a good open world game should be. So tell me in the comments down below what you think about Dying Light 2. Hope you enjoyed my gameplay now that I can actually record the friggin' thing on Series X. I have enough footage to maybe make another one of these, so if you want like a part 2, just whatever, tell me in the comments down below. But hope you guys enjoyed. When I get back from Disney, I will be recording a lot more Dying Light 2. I'm not going to do the whole story, but, I'll record some of me mucking around and just running around and all that to whatever. So hope you guys enjoyed. Again, Dying Light 2 is a fantastic game. If you can find it on sale or just whatever, I highly recommend it. If you enjoyed the first one, if you like open world games, you like first person games, you like zombie games, if you played Dead Island 1 and 2 or even Dying Light 1, Dying Light 2 is 100% up your alley. And me, it's just a fun badass game where you kill zombies and do awesome parkour, and really, that's kind of awesome, you know what I mean? If I did parkour in real life, I'd probably break my neck. So, for me to jump rooftops in the game, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, tell me in the comments down below what you think about Dying Light 2. I love the game. Maybe they'll make a Dying Light 3, but I'm excited for the future of what this game has in terms of DLC and all that cool stuff. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.